What up, guys? It's Kyle. I just want to make a quick video. I was thinking about this idea of healthy masculinity versus toxic masculinity, and these aren't necessarily like terms that I would use, but I've heard these terms before, and I want to talk about what I believe is the definition of healthy masculinity. And I was actually reading a book. It's by a guy, author named Jay Stringer. I believe it's Jay Stringer. The book is called Unwanted. It's actually a Christian author who writes about sexual sin, like getting away from pornography and things that lots of us men and women struggle with. So I was reading that, and he spoke about how you want to be the perfect combination between strength and vulnerability. I'm pretty sure that's how he worded it, but something along those lines. The perfect combination between strength and vulnerability. So if you, and I want to add to that, not only strength and vulnerability, but you want to use your strength in the right ways. So to protect, serve, and defend yourself, and not to take it any further than that. So I think it can get really unhealthy, like when people, their masculinity, they're almost all about strength to the point that they become a predator. Because you don't want to be, when you live from your masculinity, it's not about forcing other people to do anything or intimidating other people. You do want to intimidate other people in the sense that you know how to defend yourself, but it's not like an active thing, like let me just make this person feel like they're less than me, or make this person weak. If you're healthy masculinity, you're not trying to weaken other people so that you can feel strong, but you will watch other people to make sure that they're not trying to weaken you. Because there's nothing wrong with necessarily being vulnerable. I have a family friend who's like very masculine, very strong. He can build anything. He's tough, but he's also vulnerable. Like I remember one time we were talking, and then I forgot what it exactly was. I think it was about the environment, because he really cares about the environment. I think he started crying a little bit about something regarding the animals, and I was a little bit shocked. I was like, this guy is so strong, and he's like the type of dude that you would not F with. You would not want to pick a fight. You would not want to start an argument with him. But yeah, he was crying a little bit about the environment. So he has this mix between strength and vulnerability, and it has nothing to do with making other people feel weak. It's just he can be vulnerable, and then also he can defend himself because he's strong. And I feel like that's what this book, with Jay Stringer, the book Unwanted, that's what he was talking about. So healthy masculinity is just about a combination between strength and vulnerability, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a jerk. It doesn't mean any of that. I know that it can be hard, because the more vulnerable we get, the more scared that we become. So then we become, we want to lash out at other people, like in that moment, because we get scared. But it's all about that balance, knowing how to defend yourself if someone disrespects you, by telling them, hey, I don't like you talking to me like that. And but not going so far that you lose your cool. So yeah, balance between strength and vulnerability, but also it's not about attacking others or making others feel bad. It's not about using your strength to intimidate others. It's also about just simply defending and protecting yourself and protecting others and serving. Like even in the military, right? Like if you look at any good military, ideally they're not supposed to go fight wars to just destroy things, basically for just out of ego and pride. A good military, an ethical military, will only show up to defend, protect, and serve. Like those three things: defend, protect, and serve. So it's not about making others feel bad or just destroying other people just out of your ego. And that's the hard part as a man, because when you start to step into your strength, then it starts to become tempting. You know, it's even probably like a boxer. If they've been boxing, they probably just want to use that strength to just whoop on somebody, but you have to control it. So yeah. And even like I wouldn't say I'm the best Christian. I mean, obviously, but nobody is. But if you even look at Jesus Christ, he was the perfect combination between strength and vulnerability. So like, according to what Christians believe, Jesus was God, but he still allowed himself to die on the cross. He still made himself vulnerable, even though he's very strong. He could have ripped himself off the cross. And people even said, why don't you save yourself? He could have said, F you, I'm gonna destroy all of you. Wow, this is a joke. I was just punking on y'all. Boom! Like, you know what I'm saying? He could have, I don't know. He could have just destroyed all the people that put him on the cross and just said, joke's on you. But, he still allowed it. And I'm not saying that human beings can allow themselves to be in that position. I mean, I don't recommend being self-sacrificial in the sense of just letting people hurt you, but it does illustrate a point that you have to be vulnerable to an extent and still work on your strength. So yeah, don't be passive, but don't be so aggressive that it's just predatory. So yeah. But alright, combination between strength and vulnerability. Alright, have a good day. That's healthy masculinity, the way I define it. Have a good one, man. Real quick, on a side note, I believe one way maybe of being strong and vulnerable is like you first have to feel strong first. I know that may sound obvious, but like, it's going to be hard for you to be vulnerable if you don't feel like you can defend yourself. So I feel like there's certain ways to gain strength first. And for me, I actually want to start boxing. And I know, strength isn't just physical or fighting, but I feel like there's a certain element of if you want to do things that make you feel powerful, so that you don't feel weak, like you have to lash out at somebody else. If you feel stronger, and maybe even taking assertiveness training, and sometimes I try to read articles on like how to combat disrespect from other people without like escalating, and so that type of assertiveness training I feel like can help too. So building strength, and then you feel like you can be vulnerable. I once heard a quote. It was by the comedian Dave Chappelle. He said his mom used to tell him that sometimes you have to be the lion, or act like the lion, so that you can be the sheep that you really are. Which basically means like, you have to be strong in order to fend off predators, so then you can actually act in your true, calm, sensitive self, while still being able to be strong. So alright, that's what I'm gonna do. I want to start boxing, maybe not actually fighting other people, but training and gaining that sense of power and strength and masculinity, while learning how to be vulnerable with others. Alright, have a good day, y'all.